Hi guys and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at the brand new, this is the Dior Forever. These are the nude bronzers. I picked up two different shades and I also picked them up in the two different finishes as well. There are four shades in this collection. You've got light, soft, warm and intense. And with each of those shades you've got either a matte finish or we've got what they call a radiant finish. So that's why I thought I'd pick up the two different finishes so I could show you what they were like. Now also in front of me I have a whole lot of bronzers as well, just so we can take a look at some comparisons. So the packaging of these bronzers is just absolutely stunning. It's really beautiful and it's supposed to replicate the Canmake leather that they have on their handbags. I just think it's gorgeous. The logo here is silver and then you've got silver all around the base here as well, and it feels really cushiony and soft, very luxurious, although the shade range is very poor. So I didn't get the deepest shade, which is intense. I got the middle two shades, but even with the intense shade I don't think it would suit anyone or show up on anyone with deep skin tones. So I'll just show you what the packaging looks like close up. Really beautiful. So this bronzer has 7.8 grams of product. It is made in France and it has a shelf life of 12 months from date of opening. This is also infused with skincare. This does not contain talc, but a couple of the ingredients for skincare are, one is the hyaluronic acid, but also this contains vitamin C as well. Now the ingredients for this are on the back of the packet. It is in quite small writing. I don't think I'm able to take a photo of that for a screenshot for this video, and I tried to have a look on their website and it wasn't there. So I thought out of all the ingredients it's good to mention that there's no talc, but also that it had vitamin C in there as well. And these bronzers are also fragrance, and it has an iris type of fragrance. It actually smells really lovely. It's supposed to smell like summer, and it does. It has that sort of light floral scent. It's really beautiful. So these bronzers are supposed to warm the complexion with a natural glow or a matte tanned effect. These are supposed to be summer proof, so that means that they're supposed to be heat and transfer proof as well. Now last year they released those cream contour and one of those shades was also a bronzer, and they said that they were heat and humidity proof, and they are. So with my oily skin those cream bronzers work really beautifully, so I'd imagine that these powder ones are also going to work really gorgeous as well, and I imagine they will also be heat and humidity resistant. So I'm in New Zealand and it is the middle of summer now, so with my oily skin this will be a good test to see what these bronzers are like. So here is the shade 03, which is called Soft, and this is the matte formula. And this is the shade 04 Warm, and this is the Radiant formula. So here is shade 03 Soft, and this is the matte formula. And as you can see, it is quite a warm shade. And then I'll just go over that again. So they are buildable. The formula feels really beautiful. And here we have the shade in Warm, and that is the Radiant formula. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is a little bit of a sheen there, and I'll just go over that again. So the one Warm, so this is soft, this is warm, and the warm is actually cooler than the soft shade. So next I'm going to swatch a Dior shade. This is the one in Warm Bronze. So here we have Warm Bronze. Next I've got the Giorgio Armani bronzer, and this is in the shade 100. So Giorgio Armani in the shade 100. That one has a radiant finish, and it's got more of a radiance than the Dior one here. Next is the YSL bronzer, and this is in the shade 02. This is YSL in 02. I'll just go over that one again. Next I've got the By Terry bronzer, and this one is in the shade Medium Bronze. So this is the By Terry one. Next I've got the Gucci one, and this is in 03. So this is the Gucci in 03. You can see how warm that first one of the new Dior bronzers in. That's the shade Soft. So you can see how warm that is compared to the others here. And lastly I just want to swatch the Chantecaille one in Goa. This is a favourite of a lot of people. So these two are the new Dior bronzers. You've got soft, then you've got warm. Next you've got the Dior bronzer that was released about 2 or 3 years ago now. Then we've got Giorgio Armani, YSL, by Terry, Gucci and Chantecaille. So I've now wiped all those swatches off, but I just want to do a few more comparisons, and that is with the Chanel. This is the Le Beige's Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed Powders. I bought all 5 of these shades, so I thought I'd do comparisons with all of these because I know many of you have purchased these as well. These are the new Dior bronzers. We've got soft and warm. And then here we've got, starting with the Chanel Le Beiges, we've got light coral, medium coral, medium rose gold, deep rose gold, and then we've got the deep mauve. So now let's try these bronzers out. On the left side I'm going to put on the one soft, and that is the matte formula. Now on the right side I'm going to put on the warm one, and that is the radiant formula. So I'm going to use the Sonia G. This is the jumbo bronzer, and I use this brush a lot for bronzers. So I'm just going to do just a light sweep in there, and just start applying that. So this is the shade that's actually very warm, warmer than the other shade, even though the other shade is called warm. This one actually is warmer. Well, it was from the swatches anyway. So this one is the matte formula, and it does go on really beautifully. Blends out like a dream. I think the formula of it is really beautiful. Some people might find this a little bit too warm, but then it's more of a sheer shade as well. So if you just want that really subtle warmth, then I think that is a really lovely shade. And even though it is a matte, when I swatched it, it felt quite creamy going on. So for me, I don't think you'll be able to see, I'll go over this again because with the lighting here, but for me, this would probably be enough if I just wanted that really subtle warmth. But just slowly building it up. So these are buildable, and that's what they say they are on their website as well. But compared to that side, I think it does. It looks really lovely. But like I was saying, this may be a little bit too warm for some people. Now this bronzing brush by Sonia G, it's not very dense. It's quite soft, so it does tend to apply bronzer quite a bit more softly than maybe other bronzer brushes that you may have in your collection. But in saying that, I think this brush does apply it really beautifully. So I've just wiped the brush down, and now we'll go into the one warm, and this is the one that has the radiant finish, and from the swatch the radiance is quite subtle as well, which I quite like in a bronzer. So let's just go over the cheek area first, and again I will build this up, but I just want to see what it's like just with it applied quite sheer to begin with. So it does have, I can see that it does have that slight sheen to it, but not too much. It really just gives that beautiful natural type of radiance. So this one here is the second to deepest shade. I think the shade, I was wondering about whether to get the one intense, but I think this is really enough for me. I don't think I'd really want to go deeper than this. And the amount that I've got on now is definitely enough for my everyday makeup, but I'll just go over it one more time for this video because sometimes under these lights it can wash out the colour a little bit. So I'll just go over it again. So here we've got the shade 03 in soft, and that's the matte formula. And here is the shade 04 in warm, and this is the radiant formula. I think out of the two, I prefer this shade to this one. I don't mind a bronzer that is more warmer, but I actually prefer this shade, and I also prefer this formula too. I also prefer this radiant one as well. There's nothing wrong with the matte formula, but I just like that extra little bit of radiance, just like they say it is. I think it looks really lovely, and these just, like I was saying, they just blend out really beautifully as well. So which one do you prefer? This one here, the warmer one, which is actually called soft. It gets a bit confusing, so I'll start that again. Which shade do you prefer? Number 03 soft, this is the matte, or number 04 warm, and that is the radiant? Both are really lovely, and I'd use both, but I know just by looking at that I'll gravitate more towards this shade here. So off camera, I'm just going to put on some blush and some highlighter, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. So now that I've got the blush and highlighter on as well, now I'm not too sure which shade that I prefer. I think I still prefer this one. This is the 04 warm with the radiant finish, but both are really lovely. So my final thoughts on these are that the packaging is outstanding. The formula feels beautiful. Even with the matte one, it still has a beautiful creaminess to it, and they also blend beautifully, and they are also buildable. The problem with this launch is that there's just not enough shades. They really need to go deeper, and especially when you saw me do the swatches comparing it to the different Chanel Le Beiges ones that were released last year, they had such a great range, and they also went really deep as well. So Dior really need to up their game when it comes to their shade range. Aside from that though, like I said, the packaging is beautiful, applies like a dream. I forgot to mention that these also have a mirror inside as well. They really are a beautiful product. It's just a shame there are going to be so many people out there that aren't going to give this a go because it's just not going to show up on their skin tone. One thing that I did forget to mention is that I've also got on the new Dior, that's the Forever, the Hydra foundation, and I'm doing a separate video on that, so that'll be uploaded after this bronzer video. And I've also ordered a whole lot more of the Dior Spring as well as the Quince, and today I've also got on one of their nail polishes. This is the one called Pinkmania, and I'm so pleased. I decided to blind buy and ordered two because I do love a pink nail polish, but this is just with one coat, and I think it is gorgeous. So if you love pink and you weren't too sure about these nail polishes, the pink is just beautiful. And as I was saying, I think it's called Pinkmania, but I will have it listed and linked below. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.